my mom needed blood when she gave birth to my brother before I was born. So the story goes that if
Ah,
that supply wasn't there in the 1970s, then I wouldn't be here because my mom wouldn't have made it. There we are. It's the Johnny
hey,
Rogers Show. This is
what's
really
going on,
cool.
though?
How are you?
Good, man. How about you?
Good. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, I'm very proud that you asked. I'm glad we could work this out. I didn't know what was happening. My son is out in Ontario, and sometimes I drive out to see him. And
Ah,
anyway, he's a camp cottage kind of thing, right? So
oh, good, man. That's the
it's
beauty of Zoom is you could just click in whenever, wherever. I think it was like the
yeah,
best thing to come out of the pandemic for sure.
it
In
it, it
term,
really is. It kind of is because it's just, like you said, right? Like you don't really have to leave your house, and you can still connect with people, and it's kind of fun that way. So I'm and that's probably the only good thing that happened. Uh,
yeah, and that's it.
I had a cool COVID beard though, so that was fun.
Oh,
So
nice. Yeah, yeah.
big.
COVID was a
It's
good
so big.
time to like, I grew my hair right out too. And it was the best
Ah,
time to get through the awkward stages of, because
yeah,
you've had long hair. There's that
yeah.
middle stage of growing your hair where it just doesn't look like there's no way you can make it look nice.
So true.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
true. Yeah.
Um,
But no, this is fun. Thank you for asking me to be a part of this.
yeah, of course. When I asked you about the one word, what came to mind for you? Like, did
So
anything click right away?
probably, yeah, I think it depends on where you want to go with the chat, but I think community for me, because that was sort of the main reason why I got into radio, and it's the reason why I'm with Yuck Yucks, and it's the reason why I kind of live each day to sort of fulfill that community charity, like that kind of stuff, right? Just, helping people. So if that's like a cool, trendy word for you, that works. If you need
It doesn't
if
need
you
to be
need
trendy at all. It just has to be like
yeah.
important to you. So I think
Okay.
community is a great word. It's
Okay.
an easy word to talk a lot about, and because you've been so involved with so many different like types of communities over the years, I'm sure you can speak to a lot of experiences as well.
Mhm.
You were like you for people that don't know, you've been a staple in Ottawa radio for like over a decade, right? Like,
Yeah. So for starters, is this is are we
oh
interviewing?
yeah, we're going right in.
Is this what's happening right now?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
So
yeah.
amazing. Yeah. So I've actually been in Ottawa radio since 1999. So it's been quite a while. I'm an older fella. At this moment in time, I'm not really in Ottawa radio. It's just some things happened over the past few weeks. And that's okay. And I'm definitely hoping to get back into it. But once it's in your blood, once it's part of your resume, you're sort of you're still a part of it. So I mean, I have a lot of great friends still in the business, and like I said, I'm hoping to get back into it in one shape or form at some point.
Yeah. But it just mean like I know you are not in the space right now, but just because it's been such a big part of your life, like I would really love to hear like what first drew you to being like in radio in general.
Yeah, so I mean, we're going to go way back in time. So 1996, I graduated from Vankleek Collegiate Institute, so just a small town that's about an hour outside of here, and outside of Ottawa. And I was the student council president. And I remember part of my duties were to read the morning announcements, and people used to comment on how it sounded, how I delivered it. And they'd mention, like maybe, radio or whatever, right? And I not only that, but I loved radio. I loved listening to the radio. I loved the music and the announcers and the way radio sounded. To me, it was like a no-brainer. But I actually went to teachers college first at Trent University. Didn't enjoy that as much as I wanted to, and then I went to Loyalist College in Belleville and graduated in 1999. So that's when it really started.
Yeah. What was it about like teachers college where you were like, no, this is not it for me.
It was hard. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like I left high school, and it was just sort of a university is just this whole different animal where you have to read like a novel a week in each subject. And I think I pushed myself so hard in grade 12, 13 with the extracurricular that I was kind of a bit burnt out, and I was 19
Mm.
years old, and it just didn't feel right yet. I was homesick. I was tired. I strongly believe that students should have that year in between
Yeah, I
high
was just gonna
school,
say.
college. Yeah, just sort of figure things out if you're lucky enough to, and spend some time at home. If you're lucky to be with your family. So it wasn't for me. Looking back, like I'm sometimes I kick myself, and maybe I should have stuck it out, and maybe I wouldn't have had this sort of up and down roller coaster radio career. But even though at this point that I'm sort of on the outside looking in on radio, I'm grateful for everything that I've done throughout the career because I've got to meet heroes and I've got to help community members and be in the community and just so I don't regret the decisions I've made.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then like everything, you can always look back and go, ah, what if I had done this or whatever. But it's
Yeah,
like, but no, you did this, you went this way for a reason. Like there's always, and if you look at like, okay, I pulled this here. Is it true that
yeah.
you've made over 66 blood donations and raised $15,000 through November?
So okay, so your stats are beautiful, but way
Okay.
off, and and
Okay,
and
okay,
so
okay.
because
Okay.
I'm
I'm
now
looking.
no, and that's okay. It just depends on where you research me online, right? Some things
Okay,
are up to
okay.
date, some things aren't. I'm now sitting at 121 whole blood donations. So,
Wow.
yeah, so that's it. So double what you said.
Yeah, yeah. That's
I
always
started
better if
back.
it's double than what I said. I would
Yeah,
hate to
no,
be
that's
like
for sure.
over exaggerate something.
The Movember numbers are right, but
Okay.
I used to grow a very dirty mustache, and we'd raise some funds for
Yeah.
Movember, and that was one of the causes that was near and dear to my heart. But the number one cause is blood donation, and I did start that in high school again.
Hmm.
And my mom needed blood when she gave birth to my brother before I was born. So the story goes that if
Ah.
that supply wasn't there in the 1970s, then I wouldn't be here because my mom wouldn't have made it. So and then in 2019, my dad needed blood in the Heart Institute. So um, their life story, our life story would have all been completely different if those supplies weren't
Wow.
there. So that's why I give. And quite honestly, it's to me, it is about growing numbers. It is about meeting people. It is about helping people. And it's the cookies after are fun. I have a 7-year-old, almost 8-year-old. He turns 8 in July, and Max, and he came to see me give blood a couple of times and a few times, and it's just so like I like to maybe teach that to him. He doesn't want to do it just yet. He's a young man, but like he doesn't think the whole thing looks too much fun. But hopefully one day, right? I just think if people are eligible, they should because not enough people give. It's like
Yeah.
very small numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like putting it, I think attaching a story to it like you just did there with like,
Mhm.
here's why I give. It's
Yeah,
like I think even if you haven't been through that, hearing that through someone else of like what their reason for giving, and I'm
yeah,
sure blood donation campaigns do that sort of thing all the time, but I think that strikes a chord way more than just like, hey, we need you to give. Because then people are thinking like, okay, well, somebody else will do it, so I'm not gonna go do it. Somebody else, that's for
yeah.
somebody else to go do. But then if you hear like if you see the results of like what you're giving for, which sounds sad because most times when you're donating or you're giving like help to a community, you should do it without really caring about what the end circumstance is going to be. It's like you just do it because it's a good thing to do.
Yeah, it's a good thing to do, and I think and quite honestly, I mean, it makes you feel good. Like you feel
Hmm.
one of my, we all suffer from some dark days, some. I suffer from anxiety, like bad anxiety, and I can depression at points. Even though people looking in on me, it's like, wow, this guy's got a lot going on. Like he's got a great life, and I do. But when I'm feeling those ways, what I do is I try to reach out to community. I try the giving blood, the helping out at an event, even sharing something for somebody online. Like it makes me feel good. It's like I always say sometimes it's a selfish act because but uh,
Hmm.
doing good in the world, but it makes me feel great. It lifts me up. So I just think, like I said, going back to the blood donation, if people are eligible, it's really not that scary. If you're scared of needles, you go in, and the whole process is about 45 minutes to an hour and you feel so good after because cancer patients, accident victims, surgeries, I guarantee everybody at some point in their lives will know somebody who will have needed blood. And so, like I said, it's so important
Yeah.
if you're eligible to do it.
And then like talk a bit about too about like, that's something that's so relatable too, of people feeling like anxiety and feeling imposter syndrome too, and a lot of people that are, are putting themselves out there, which is what radio is, or what like public speaking is, or whether you're acting or you're an artist or creative of some type. I think we all can come across those moments of like feeling. Like you're like, do I actually know what I'm doing here? Like, did you have that at any point in your like radio career? And was there someone, or just in life in general, I should say, and was there someone that kind of like helped mentor you or helped you with that, or did you discover that on your own?
Even right up to the last day, like I think we all sort of in radio, we all sort of second guess ourselves, right? I mean, I know you as a comedian, you get on stage and you get off stage and you're wondering, how was that?
Yeah,
Was that
and you
any
were
good? Did anybody laugh?
there.
Yeah, but I mean, you think these things, right? So
Yeah.
anytime I did a show, anytime I read a commercial, anytime I emceed an event, you're always sort of. I'm very confident in my abilities, but you all there's this small bit of you that wonders, was that any good? Did
Hmm.
people enjoy it? Did people laugh? Were people entertained? So I think we all live with that, but I also think that's what makes us stay on our toes. Like that keeps us wanting to learn, keeps us wanting to improve. I did have a fantastic mentor, and his name was Max Keeping, and he was Max Keeping was for you younger folk, he was the anchor of the 6 o'clock news on CJOH, now CTV News, for 40 years, and
Wow.
he has the Order of Canada, and he has the he incredible human being, raising I think that the number is over $100 million for charities throughout his career, and I met him in high school, and our relationship. He mentored me right up until his final days. Even when I used to have a TV show on Rogers TV, he would watch and he would send me texts about how I could be better on TV. And it wasn't like an egotistical move. It was him trying to help me.
Hmm.
And he was just like that. So along with my father, we named Max's mother and I named my son Max
Oh, wow. That's
James.
beautiful.
Yeah, Maxwell James. So, I think it's important to have mentors. I think it's important to always be open to constructive criticism. But yeah, no, we all live with the sort of, even 27 years in radio, you always sort of second guess and you wonder, and I think as Canadian entertainers, that's just what we do. So, because you just
Yeah,
never
yeah.
know, right?
You really
And
never
you
know. It's such a random
no.
gamble as a Canadian entertainer.
Yeah, and you just have to ignore the criticism, like the bad
Yeah,
criticism and the hate. But quite honestly, sometimes the more hate you get and the more criticism you get, as long as it's not through your doing, because you did something
sure.
that deserves hate, I think that's a sign of success. And I know that's really terrible, but it just seems like the more you're hated on, sometimes, not
Yeah.
everybody, but it's just like people just love to hate, and they just love to, tear you
I
down if they can,
I
and
feel
that's
like you
unfortunate.
shouldn't listen to either. Like I feel I'm of the thought process that you shouldn't pay attention to like praise or like hate comments, because either
Yeah,
one is going to tear you down internally or the other one's going to
yeah,
inflate your ego, and you're going to
yeah.
get to a point where you think that everything you touch is gold, you know?
Yeah,
And then you don't care to improve. I think that the perfect balance is like silencing all of the feedback unless it's from people that you admire and love.
yeah, yeah,
If someone you admire or someone you love is giving you like honest feedback, that's the people you listen to, right? And
yeah,
then when it comes to like that own self-talk about like imposter syndrome, I think
yeah.
there's a small portion of that is like your own desire to be better than you are.
Hmm.
So you almost look at what you're currently doing going, yeah, well, that's not as good as this person. And you're
Hmm.
comparing yourself to a higher standard so that you're always raising the quality of what you're doing. But
Yeah,
like at a certain point, you have to be like, okay, we're doing a good job. You have to like
yeah.
congratulate yourself a little bit along the way. Otherwise, you just go mental.
Yeah, I mean it's great to be competitive. It's great to have high standards. It's great to have all that stuff. But I think in this world, especially now where people do battle anxiety and depression and all those things, you have to be gentle with yourself. You have to, just do the best you can every day, but don't bust yourself.
Hmm.
Because I think through my years of media, there was one point where I was hosting Rogers Daytime and I was on Boom 99.7 and I was helping in the music department there, and I also work at Yuck Yucks. And at that point, maybe my son was like 1 or 2, and I had a relationship, and it was just like it was 7 days a week of being
Yeah. Yeah.
on. So beautiful because I had all these positions and there's wonderful things in my life, but it wreaks havoc on you after a while because you think that you're doing okay, but your body is like telling you this is a lot.
Right.
And I think, and if I'm being honest, like with this show, I think it's done damage to my body.
Wow.
Like you do too much, you push yourself too hard sometimes to the point that it may be irreversible. So I
Mm.
think that's where my anxiety is now, or just other things that I battle. And I know we all go through this. I know, and some people have much more difficult positions in life, and some people are doing manual labor and all that kind of stuff, which I can't even imagine just putting my body through every day. But we really do. As I'm getting older, I'm approaching 50. I mean, I'm 47, but I'm getting to 50. It's like I'm trying to like, stop and smell the roses, as the saying goes, right? I'm
Right.
trying to just relax, and I'm just trying to take in life instead of always being on edge, always worrying about what people think. So we do have to take it slow some days, I think.
Yeah. And I think like even, they say sitting is the new smoking,
Yeah,
where it's like if you're in a job, even like as a podcaster, right? Like I'm sitting at this computer editing, I'm sitting at this computer doing shows, I'm sitting at this
yeah,
computer doing my like it's not good to be
yeah,
like in front of a screen for, like six,
all the
seven,
time.
8 hours at a time. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you have to like get yourself up, get yourself moving, like walk around, get some sun because literally, that saying, you need to go touch grass is
yeah,
is so true though, because like so many
yeah,
people just need to go outside and just chill outside. Like
yeah.
especially
So,
living
so
in
I,
Ottawa, the weather is so terrible like 8 months of the year.
it's true. Yeah,
Go
it's
outside
true.
and sit in some grass and soak up some sun and just relax every now and again.
Yeah, so it is funny you say that because one of my parts of my routine is I run every day. I'm a runner,
Oh, nice.
but I'm not a competitive runner. I'm just recreational. Like I never do any of those Ottawa race weekends or any of those things. I just don't do that. That's not for me. But every day I get on my running shoes and I run, and I've been doing that since I was a teenager. And even in the last couple of years, because of I wasn't feeling my best, I've lost 35 pounds just from running. And that's
Wow.
not the first time I've done that in my life. There was one point I lost 50 pounds. So my weight can fluctuate through stress and all that. But I strongly believe, like I absolutely believe with all my heart, one of the most important things you can do is move, is exercise. Because it changes everything. It changes out. It's not, I don't love it. I love the results. I love,
Yeah, right.
yeah, all of that,
Yeah,
right?
running sucks. You know what's funny though is like it's
Yeah,
all about how you think about things because like forever I thought like oh running is like terrible. Like I hate running.
yeah,
I'm terrible at
yeah,
running. And I was always thinking about like high school where they like forced you to run laps and they like,
yeah,
were watching you. And then I went to school to be a police officer and they forced you to run laps and it was like
yeah,
I hated running. And then I found when I was like smoking, I was wanting to quit smoking, and I came across this like running room group that was like
yeah,
it was run to quit smoking basically. And
yeah,
so every week we would all meet up like all of these literal smokers. So it's not like any one of them is trying to run a marathon. But the idea was we were going to train together to run a 5K.
hmm,
And they do this like thing, this system, I think it's like 1 for 1 or 10 in ones or something. So you basically like run for 1 minute or jog for 1 minute and then walk for 1 minute. And you do that
yeah,
over and over and over again. And the way that your like cardio just rapidly expands. And then when you
yeah,
go to run for any length of time, you just don't get tired.
yeah,
Like it's crazy how your body just becomes conditioned to whatever you're training itself, like whatever you're training
mhm,
for. But so many times I would just like run as hard as I could until I gassed myself out, and then I'm
yeah,
cramping, and I'm like, oh, I hate running. It's like, no, you're just doing it wrong. Like
yeah.
there's a way to run. It's like a way to learn.
There is a way to run, and that's why when I suggest running to people, people say, I can't run, I can't do that, I can't,
Yeah.
but no, but just run for 30 seconds, then walk for 30 seconds,
Yeah.
run for a minute, stop, walk for a minute. It's just all about being outside and moving your body. And like I swear, every time I'm out there, I usually have some kind of epiphany, or I have some kind of like moment where like, oh yeah, I have to do that. And I think, and I owe it all to like the blood's moving, the body's moving, and it sets the pace or the stage for the rest of my day. Um,
Totally.
yeah, and then not to mention your clothes feel better. Like everything's better. Like your skin is more. You've gotten some sunshine. So I just think exercise is just number one when you're not feeling your best. But it's the motive. It's to get those running shoes on. That's the most difficult part. But once you've got
Yeah.
them on, once you're outside,
I call it
so
the
yeah,
identifying as part.
yeah,
Whenever you want to do a new thing, you have to identify as that thing. So it's
yeah.
like if you
Okay.
wanted to get into Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you have to identify as a jiu-jitsu artist. And
Wow.
then you have to seek out like, okay, so I'm a jiu-jitsu like person. So now, well, it would make sense then that when I open up my Instagram, I'm constantly seeing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu video. So I'm going to follow a bunch
Yeah.
of pages. Then I'm going to
Okay.
go figure out where the classes are because I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist. I need to go train. And
Yeah. Okay.
you just put yourself in that headspace of like, if I was a professional at that, what would my day look like? And then you just try
Yeah.
to mimic that. Like you are like, I'm a runner. So every day at this time, I put on my running shoes and I run. Like there's
Yeah.
no, and then if I think like, I don't feel like running today, I go, oh, that's a weird thing for a runner to think. You
Huh.
know, like
Okay.
a runner never really thinks like he doesn't feel like running today. He just runs.
Yeah.
And so you just like get yourself out of that because your brain will so easily be like, yeah, but like you want to get to bed early and you have this thing to do and this thing to do. So you shouldn't really do that right now.
Yeah.
And it's so
Okay.
easy to listen to that voice and go, especially through COVID where like you couldn't do anything. It's
Yeah.
so easy, I think, to listen to that lazy voice in your head that's like, just sit on the couch, you
Oh
know,
yeah. And
just
and
throw on
and I
Netflix, relax.
yeah, and I try to ignore the lazy voice every day because I know that I won't feel good if I listen to
Exactly.
the lazy voice. So and even what you were saying too, it's like even as a young a teenager and I went into radio. Like I said, I grew up in Vankleek Hill, Ontario, so it was right between Montreal and Ottawa. So
Hmm.
I got major market radio stations from both cities pumping into, my bedroom as a kid. And I mimicked the announcers. I said to myself, well, if they sound like that, and I can sound like that, then I can be where they are. So, I listen to them, and I it's funny because I still do that. I still listen. I'm always learning. I'm always growing.
Yeah.
I'm always so it's just like being a comedian, right? Like you sit and you watch these touring comedians, you watch Netflix specials, you watch whatever, and you're like, well, if that's how it's delivered, let's
Hmm.
mimic it. Let's
Yeah,
mimic it.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not talking impersonate or copy.
No,
I'm just
no.
saying they're the style. I mean, if they can do that, I always think that like Ryan Seacrest, right? Like he's probably, in my opinion, the most, well-rounded media person in the world. He's, radio, TV, like
He's ready
it's
to go.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he started as an overnight radio announcer. So in some small city somewhere. And I keep saying to myself, if he can do it, why can't I do it? He's just he's
That's what
just
you have to think.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's just a human
He's just a
being.
person. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's just a person, and I'm sure he's full of anxiety every day. Like, how could you not be? The money he makes probably helps a little bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I
it's like
guess.
if he can do it, I can do it. And
Yeah.
I've just sort of lived that way with everything. When I'm emceeing a show or I'm up in front of a crowd of thousands of people, I'm like, why can't I do it?
You're like,
And
oh,
and
I'm the guy. You
yeah, it's
know,
like I'm
like
the guy that's been asked to do this. I'm the person who's put in all these years. And it's not an ego thing at that point. It's a confidence
it's
thing.
confidence. It's choosing
Yeah.
confidence, which is a
Yeah.
big difference from someone like being egotistical or narcissistic is someone that chooses confidence. And like
Yeah.
there's no better example of this than watching like a new artist performing at the Grammys. Like if you
Yeah.
watch like a brand new artist performing at the Grammys, they have to come out like as confident as possible, even knowing that like most of the room isn't going to know who they are, but they
Yeah.
still have to like deliver on such a high, like
Oh yeah.
the amount of pressure that you must feel of like this is my moment in time to either make or break my career in front of
Yeah,
millions of people.
of course, of
Like
course.
you, that's the ultimate consequences. You have to choose confidence in moments like that
Yeah, you have to. And
because you could
you
freak
just
out so easily, you know?
yeah, you just go for it. You ignore that like the biggest stars in the world. Like you imagine the Academy Awards, and you've
Yeah,
got Brad Pitt in the front row and just whoever, right? And
just
you're just
staring right at you.
yeah, it's like
Like,
no big deal. But all of a sudden you're one of them, and they started somewhere, so why can't I be where they are?
yeah.
So and that I think that's just a key to success. Just don't overthink it and go for it.
Yeah, for sure. Put those blinders on.
Yeah,
One question I also had too is like
yeah.
if somebody going back to community, if what advice would you give to someone that's like wanting to get involved in community and doesn't really know what direction to take? Maybe they're new to a city, maybe
Mhm.
they're new to a college or university, or they are just like, they're just living in their city generally and they just want to get involved with the community. They
Yeah.
don't feel attached to a community.
I mean, the good part about being in Ottawa is there's something for everybody. So it's if whatever you're interested in, it probably exists. So that's good because it's a million plus city. So one of the things I used to do and still do from time to time, especially when I was trying to get known a little more, is you maybe you'd go on social media a bit and you'd search out events and you'd search out organizations. And because I mean, I was a little luckier because I had media backing. So but I would write to whoever and I'd say, hi, I'm whoever, and I'm with this radio station, and I'd love to take part in whatever you're doing. In 9.5 times out of 10, you'd get a favorable response. Of course, we'd love you to help out, right? So anybody can do that. You don't have to have media backing. You don't have to have all this experience to do it, but just search out what you love. If it's the Humane Society, if it's CHEO, if it's blood donations, Canadian Blood Services, like just write to whoever's on the website and
Hmm.
say, hi, I'm this person. I would like to help. And they all,
Yeah.
for the
They'll
most
find
part,
something
all,
for you to do.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
mean, they would love for you to be a part because they're charitable and for most part, all of these organizations, even the smaller ones, will have somebody on board who will assist you or put you in the right direction or say, why don't you come in and we can talk about volunteer opportunities. Um, I just think that's the best way to do it. Obviously, networking isn't for everybody because you have to have a pretty strong social battery sometimes, and you have
Yeah.
to, like you have to be the anxiety has to disappear for a little bit to walk into a full room of people you don't know. But if you do have opportunities to network, that's why I love going to Yuck Yucks. I love hanging out in the green room. I love seeing people
It's
because
best.
I will I
That
will
green
meet
room's
people.
awesome.
Yeah, I'll meet people that I never saw before. And I'll introduce myself and we'll chat a little bit and we'll talk about our backgrounds. And then right away, there's someone sort of on your team, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
your team of support for a long time, right? Networking, I think, is huge, and I think that's one of my keys to success throughout the years. Is I've gone to a lot of events and I've gone to so you meet people and you talk about what you're interested, and these people usually know somebody that can help you, or
Hmm.
that's just how to do it. I mean, I'm a huge believer in you have to leave the house. You have to get out there. You have to meet people. You have to, yes, online stuff like this, of course, is perfect, right? And it's as well in so many regards, but I think
Yeah.
the human in-person interaction, like nothing will ever beat that. And that's how I lived my radio life too, right? Like
Hmm.
I met people, the saying, shake hands, kiss babies. Like you need to get out there, you need to say hi to people. And that's just ways to open doors for sure, no matter what you want to do, community or even jobs or just meeting people. That's what you
Yeah.
have to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you definitely have to get out there and meet people in person. It's just so much more
Yeah.
impactful. Like you're
Yeah.
right, you can send emails or whatever, but there's nothing like putting like a face to a story, to a name, to
Yeah.
whatever it
Of
is,
course.
right?
Of course.
Um, do you have any like dream projects that you haven't gotten a chance to work on yet? Whether it's like
Huh.
radio, online podcast, or maybe something like charity organization that you're thinking about now?
It's really funny. It's because, this is sort of fresh. What's this chapter in my life is kind of fresh. I mean, I did go to school for a little bit as well in the world of nursing. I've done
All
that as
right.
well. That's something I'm considering, approaching again or taking part in again. I'm not 100% sure. Um, but right now the goal is to just, uh, be healthy, be happy, spend time with my little boy. I loved my job very much, but sometimes I wasn't able to be as present in my son's life due to the
Hmm.
hours that I had, and so I'm trying to spend a lot more time with him and just a lot more time with friends, family. I'm picking up the phone more than I used to. Like I'm saying hi to people. I'm agreeing to like meeting for coffee perhaps, or I'm trying to be open right now to
Right.
opportunities that may arise. Like you asked me to be a part of this, and I'm like, yeah. In the past, I would have for sure, but it would have been
Yeah.
more difficult to find the time. So
Right.
I'm happy to take the time and do this and connect with you and your viewers. And I'm hoping to take on a bigger role at Yuck Yucks as well, which is great. I'm a community events coordinator there at this point. That's the title that I've been given. I've been there for about 10 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we try to help charities have fantastic nights. We try to raise money for charities. And Howard Wagman, the owner of Yuck Yucks here in Ottawa for 40 years, has helped raise over $2 million for charities. So when they
Crazy.
brought me in, he along with Chris Boris, like 10 years ago, they knew the network that I had, and I love to participate there in any way that I can to help that establishment thrive. So that's something that I'm looking at as well, just being more present at the club because I used to be like I'd show up and I'd leave. And
Ah.
people would be like, "Where is he?" And I'm like, "Well, he's probably laying down somewhere because he's tired."
Yeah.
So, but I'm much more present there. I'm hoping to reconnect with people in my past that are important to me and just live life. I mean, like the last 27 years have gone by pretty quick. And as I just mentioned, I'm 47. So if you do the math and you add another 27 to my life, I'm old if I even make it to that. So, and that's
Yeah.
not grim. That's not grim. That's not. But
Yeah.
life goes quick, and
Yeah.
and
It
so
really does.
I'm taking this time to just sort of it's like a rebirth. It's like
That's a
you
great way to
know,
look at it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
really am. It's like I appreciated the 13 years that I had at Chorus Entertainment. If someone would have told me 13 years ago, hey, we're going to give you employment for 13 years, you're going to have your dream job, which was afternoons. But at the end of that, it'll probably have to end at this date. I would have said, sign me up.
Yeah, you're like, okay,
You
cool.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And unfortunately, it did have to end due to reasons outside of my
Sure.
control. And I still have good friends in the building, and I wish them all the best, and I wish radio the best because I believe in it. And I'm just gonna, that's a long answer for your question, but
It's okay. It's
I'm
all
just gonna
good.
take it easy, man. I'm just gonna,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is like post-game interview.
yeah. I'm just let karma take over, and hopefully I've got some good karma on my side, and hopefully good
Yeah,
things
it'll
will
come
come.
your way for sure because you're optimistic about it. You're already doing things that are healthy
Thank
and
you.
beneficial for your network. So
Yeah.
you'll be fine. We all
Thank
land on
you.
our feet.
That's right.
You'll
I
thrive. You're
will.
more than
I
fine.
will.
One question, and it's sort of like I guess
Yeah.
around this sort of a bit of reflecting as well, but I always ask my guests if you could, essentially the question is if you could give advice to your younger self, what would it be? But I like adding the context of like thinking of who you were at 15 years old. I find
Yeah.
15 is that age where like you're not a kid anymore, but you're not an adult. You're kind of midway. You're starting to think about what you want to do, but you're not really sure. And the phone rings and it's you now on the other end. You can give your younger
Yeah.
self a piece of
Wow.
advice. Doesn't impact your
Oh.
life at all, but you can give your
Mhm.
younger self a piece of advice. What do you say to him?
I've got a lot of answers, I think. I mean, number one, I think appreciate your parents more if you're lucky enough to have them in your world. I lost my mom and dad recently in the
Mm,
last
sorry to
five, six
hear.
years. Thank you, but it's just like through their passing, I appreciated them more. Like I learned um, just and now because I'm also a father. of, like I said, an almost 8-year-old. It's just like you realize what they went through to keep you going.
Hmm.
So if you're in a position in life where you do have your parents and you're lucky and they're healthy and you do have good relationships with them, I mean, like I wish I could, even the adult me, even the 44-year-old me was sometimes still short with them and said outlandish things and before they passed away, right?
Hmm.
I just think, and so not only parents, but I just think people in general. I think like appreciate the people in your life like every day. Find special moments for them, with them, appreciate them, tell them you appreciate them because I've seen a lot of people come and go. And you just we all will. I'm also even lucky that I have because I've lived long enough to see people come and go. Like I know that's crazy, but not only that, but it's like the love I've had for these people. And I've also lost people not through death, but through other ways in
Hmm.
my life. And it's just sort of like you wish that you would have maybe held on a little, like, or showed them while you were with them or while they were here how loved they were. So maybe maybe I don't know if you get that answer very often, but
No, that's great.
yeah,
I
I
think
just think it's
that's the perfect thing to
so
do that a
important.
lot of people forget about.
Yeah, it's so important because you never know when something's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, and if you can leave this legacy behind with your own life of just like love and caring and community and just putting these people before you as often as possible when they're good people, don't let people take advantage of you. But
Yeah.
if there's good people in your life, I just think it's important to celebrate them each and every day before it's too late, before you lose them through whatever way.
Yeah.
That's important. That's important. So I've learned that even recently over the past few years, couple years myself.
No, I
Yeah.
think that's huge too, to just like appreciate the people around you because I think we can get so caught up in what we're doing. And I was thinking about this recently, like with moving to Ottawa. I moved to
Mhm.
Ottawa so I'd be closer to family, but then I
Yeah.
realized that because I was living in Toronto. So it's a 4 hour drive versus a 1 hour drive. So I thought, oh, 1 hour drive, I'm going to see them way more. I saw
Yeah.
them about the same amount. And what I
Yeah.
realized is it's all about like just p planning to do things, like
Yeah.
so many people are just waiting around for someone to ask them to do the thing or whatever, but it's like,
Yeah.
be proactive, like reach out to
Yeah.
your friend and be like, hey, you want to go get coffee at this place? Like be that
Yeah.
person that's like making the plans because most of the time it's not going to happen. Everyone's just so wrapped up in what they're doing, or
Of course.
they think
Yeah.
like I don't want to reach out to them because they might be busy. It's like,
You don't
well, if
want to
they're
bother them.
yeah, or you don't want to bother
Yeah.
them. It's like, well,
Yeah.
if they're busy or you're bothering them, they just won't answer you.
Yeah.
And then it's just like then your question's answered. It's like, oh, I
Yeah.
guess they're too busy. They're not answering.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
they'll straight up tell you like I've had people that have reached out to do the podcast and they're like, I really want to, but I can't right now. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
be mad at them for that. I go, okay, we'll reach out whenever you can do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For
Same thing with
sure.
your family, same thing with your friends. Like if you're not reaching out to them, you can't always expect them to reach out to you.
No, so a couple of quick sayings that I live by, number one, slow and steady wins the race. I absolutely believe that in life. If there's something you want in this world, pushing for it, push, 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 you're never going to get it. So slow
Never
and
gonna get
steady,
it.
just be slow and steady and just, put work into it, but don't push and eventually those baby steps, so to speak, will turn into something. The second saying that I live by, I forget now because I'm old, so it'll come to me. But there was two, and it was great. The other one's great. It'll come to me. But slow and
It's
steady wins the
actually
race.
life-changing. I wish I could remember it
It
now.
was like it would have changed the whole everything about this
Uh,
fact. But it'll
that's
come to me.
so funny.
But slow and steady.
Slow and
I
steady is
live by
is a
that.
huge one. Yeah, I've always thought about that too. Like whenever I want something to happen and I'm trying to like force it to happen, it's like no, it's
Yeah,
not. It's not meant to be. Everything should be easy from like relationships to
yeah,
friendships to like everyone's like marriage is hard, marriage is difficult, and I'm like it is if you make it difficult.
yeah.
Like
See,
it is
I don't. It shouldn't be like
it
it should
shouldn't
be
be. Like
the
it
one
should be
thing.
with those should be the one thing that's the easiest thing in your
Yeah,
life. Like what?
exactly.
If it's
It's true.
difficult, it's not supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
red flag right there. Like Marriage counselors, that's the biggest grift in the world. It's like they just shouldn't be together. What are you counseling?
That is
Uh,
true. And I do believe that too. A perfect relationship shouldn't be work. It should be
no,
happiness. It should be like love. It should be the easy thing in your
it should be
life
joy
where
and excitement.
everything else is very difficult. But
Yeah.
because it's a bit of a crazy world. I will remember that second saying though. It's going to pop right into my head like at any second now. But
Yeah.
it's gold. It'll be worth it if I can remember it
I'll
for
ask you
sure.
like a rant here. I'll ask you like a random side question, and then maybe
Yeah.
it'll just pop into your head as your
Okay.
like brain is thinking about something else.
Yeah.
What is the best concert you've ever been to? Because you
Best
are worked in
concert.
music. You worked in
Yes.
music, so you have an appreciation for music,
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
sure you've been to some concerts. What's the best concert
Well,
like you've been to?
my hero is Michael Bolton. So I don't
Okay,
know if you're
nice.
familiar with Michael
Yeah, yeah,
Bolton,
yeah.
but
I have a
he is
mother,
my
yeah.
absolute okay. He is my absolute hero, and he was at Centerpoint Theater, and I was in the front row. And people said to me it was more entertaining watching me in the front row
Oh yeah?
than Michael Bolton on the stage because I was just very excited. So I was very excited. But Michael Bolton, I mean, I've seen Guns N' Roses are my favorite, and I've managed to see them a few times, and Metallica's, and quite honestly though, like there's a guy named Yanni that I love.
Okay.
Maybe you might have to do some research on Yanni,
Yeah.
but I'm sort of all over the map when it comes to music. I just think
Okay.
like if music is good, it's good. Like it doesn't matter what the genre is, but I have been lucky to see a lot of great shows. The last 5 or 6 years, COVID, whatever, getting old, I haven't seen as many shows.
Mm,
But even through my career, I've got to interview my heroes, Michael Bolton, and that was beautiful, right? So,
that's
um,
cool.
I, yeah, I've just been very lucky. But at the same time, as I kind of just alluded to, it's like I've seen so much that I kind of feel like I've seen enough. And I
Right.
know that sounds, but it's just sort of like I saw a lot. I was lucky. I've like
Did
radio for 27 years, right?
did you
Yeah.
need to prepare for the Michael Bolton interview, or were you like, I already have the
Yeah.
questions all loaded up?
I mean, you have to prepare because there was two reasons. So this is back in 2002, and I was so a young broadcaster at that point, and still a little nervous. And you're going to interview your hero, and at that point, like he's a two-time Grammy winner and sold like 80 million albums, and
Wow.
but it was when you interview these artists, you have a job to do, and the job is to not waste their time,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, right? So they don't care if you're gaga over them and excited and all that. They're there for a purpose. So you have to research what the purpose is. Meaning he was there for a new album.
Right.
We need to talk about that. We need to get to those bullet points because that's what needs to air. You can ask the other questions about certain things in his career and all this and that, but and then you're nervous because you don't want to meet your heroes and they turn out to be terrible.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's that's
yeah.
no fun.
But luckily, he was incredible. It was over the
Yeah.
phone, and he was such an amazing man. And but yeah, you have to research no matter who it is. Probably the biggest interview I ever did, John Cleese, who is Monty Python.
Yeah.
Um, I interviewed him to a sold out crowd at Southern Hall at the National Arts Center.
That's so
So
cool.
it was so me and John Cleese for 45 minutes, and I was just asking him questions, and he was down to earth, and he even said to me, he gave me some of the best advice that I've ever received. And he said to me, you know what, Dylan, you can ask me anything out there because the reality is at the end of this night, next week, nobody will even remember. And it was sort of like it sounded like he was trying to be funny, but he was very serious. So like
Yeah.
I could stumble, I could make a mistake, I could do all that kind of stuff. Because people aren't really going to remember that.
Right.
If you did something really crazy, okay, they're going to remember that. So don't do that. But he put me at ease, and he was just like the nicest, like talk about a legend, right? And going into it, I was so nervous that I had an extra ticket, and I couldn't even invite my girlfriend to go because I was
Oh,
I
you're
was
like,
like
I would just be too nervous.
I'm like, I need to be alone on this. I
Yeah,
need I
yeah.
need to I need to drive there alone. I need to
Right.
decompress alone. But that's just sort of the way the entertainment world is. It can be a little difficult on relationships too. So, but at the end of it,
Tell me
it was
about
like
it.
it was like the coolest thing I ever did. So that's, this isn't the saying I was thinking about, but I just think that like at the end of every day, you can either say you did or you didn't do it.
Right.
And I could have easily said to work, you know what? I don't know if I'm up
Mm.
for it. I don't think
Right.
I don't
Just
feel
say
good. I
yes.
don't. Yeah, but it's like,
Figure it
yes,
out.
terrified me. But now I have this cool story to tell you, So
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so you got to say yes. You have to be a yes person. You have to sort of like, leave the house. If an opportunity comes up, like just grab it. Don't be
Hmm.
afraid. Because if you're not afraid, like you're not going to learn. So I'm never going to remember that second thing, by the way.
That,
I
I
just
mean, that could have been it right there. If you're not afraid, you're not going to learn. We
it's
could call
true.
that. That seems like great advice too.
It is. It's not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm like
Yeah.
you either I always say you either live or you learn. Like there's
Yeah.
gonna be like or you either win or you learn is what I meant to say. Because
Yeah.
like you're either going to agree to do something and it's gonna go better than you expected or just as you expected and it's gonna be great, or you're gonna learn something. Like
Yeah.
something's gonna happen that's wrong that you have to then fix and then it's just done. Like
Yeah.
I recorded a live podcast for my episode 200, and
Yeah.
partway through the show, I guess I had moved the mic stand and the mic unplugged.
Oh boy.
And so for like a good chunk of the podcast, no audio for me, the main host of the
Oh,
show. And
wow.
my buddy Sean, he's sitting over there, he notices it in the middle of the conversation and he just stops the whole podcast, runs over. He's like, "This is unplugged." Plugs it
Yeah.
back in. We're talking about it later. I'm like, "Oh man, that sucks. Like, how are we gonna fix that?" And he goes, "Don't worry, send me the files. Like, I'm just gonna upload it to Adobe Audition. I'll fix all the levels." He said it like this has happened to me many times before, and I know exactly
Yeah.
what to do. And it's
That's
like
good.
in those moments, you might feel like discouraged or like you fucked up or whatever, but
Yeah.
knowing that like he had been through that and now me being through that, it gives you so much strength and knowledge the next time something bad happens. Like the first time you change a tire, a flat tire, you don't know what you're doing, and then you
Yeah.
do it. And then 5 years later, you get another flat tire and you do it like that because you're
Yeah.
like, I've
Of
done this
course.
before. I have
Of
so much more
course.
confidence in like navigating this otherwise bad situation.
Yeah, totally.
So there's
Everything
strength in it, you
is,
know?
yeah, everything practice makes perfect, really, right? And I know like all these cliches or whatever, but it's like you learn through doing. And I've even said that before too. It's like being old doesn't make you old. It's like your experiences do. So it's like you keep like things mess up or things whatever, and then you get
Hmm.
anxiety and this and that. But on the other side, like you learn, you just continuously learn. So 27 years of radio, and then I got to the point that I was good enough for an afternoon drive show in a major market. If you would have listened to my tapes from back in like early 2000s, I was never ready for that. But the reason why I was ready now or a couple of years ago is because of all the efforts I put in. All the
Right.
times I was scared to do something, I did them and I just kept growing and growing and growing. But you don't want to do it to the point that, like I said earlier, that irreversible damage, like you
Right,
don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
put
You got
your
to still
body.
stay healthy through it all.
Yeah, you still have to stay healthy. You still have to stay, mindful, mind present, like all that kind of stuff, right? I think that's very important. So life is a marathon, and I just think every day it's like you need to take the steps to remain healthy throughout. So whatever that takes, quite
I,
honestly.
I love that, man. I think that's a
Yeah.
good point to wrap on even.
Yeah.
I want people to follow you on Instagram. It's at Dylan Black Radio. Link is in the description below. Do you want anybody to go anywhere else to see you?
Yeah, I mean Instagram, Facebook is still rocking for the most part, and Twitter is even up there or X or whatever you want to call it. But you just type in my name and put in Ottawa after it usually, and then there I am, and anybody can connect with me in any way whatsoever. I'm always happy to chat and connect.
Nice. Well, thanks so much for chatting and connecting on the
Thank
show, man. I
you.
appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure being on the Johnny Rogers Show. Woo!
You're gonna cut me an intro. Yeah,
Amazing.
make you do the you're listening to the
What a night. What an episode.
I
Thank you,
love it.
Johnny.
All right, man. Have a good rest of your night. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.